up, Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Welcome to Why We Vote. Why do we vote? And I am joined...
Starting to wonder, Brian, because it doesn't really seem to matter much anymore. It doesn't seem to reflect the will of the people. Seems like the communists are making a move in a lot of places. But,
by communist, you mean the comunistas down in Venezuela, of course.
No, I mean the degenerate DSA members running our governments.
That was just being... Man, that was a joke. Right over our head. All right, guys. Welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and jump into our sponsors and get into the show. We got a special guest joining us. I don't know if... Well, we'll wait till we get up there. But yeah, Ash is all ready to go. There it is. Badlanders, you're all familiar with Loaded Gun Coffee. They've been a longtime supporter of Badlanders, and you may have met them in person at some of our guard events. But did you know they're also a veteran-ran, family-owned shop in Lake Havasu, Arizona? And every bag of their whole bean coffee delivers a high-octane, patriotic punch of flavor. With a long family history of commitment to freedom, every bag is a testament of pride and honor, from the skilled farmers who cultivate each blend to their roasters that handpick the finest coffee beans from around the world. Loaded Gun Coffee has mastered their unique brewing methods, resulting in the best tasting coffee around. This coffee is smooth and delicious, the perfect way to start your mornings. Get on over to badlandsmedia.tv/loaded and use promo code Badlands to save 10% off your order. And if you're in Lake Havasu area, stop in and check out their newly renovated store. Say hello. Tell them Ash and CannCon sent you, and Alpha too, because he always gets mentioned in this. That is badlandsmedia.tv/loaded. Promo code Badlands. Stay loaded with Loaded Gun Coffee.
Why are we mentioning Alpha?
I don't know, because I mentioned it yesterday, and I think I said Ash when I mentioned it yesterday.
Oh, so you owe Alpha a debt then?
I don't know Alpha shit. I don't know Alpha anything after the week that we went through. So, yeah.
Alpha ghosted you.
He ghosted me instead of Ghost, and then I thought Ghost was going to ghost me, and this was a tumultuous week. Very fun. We did a call-in show though with Chris Paul today on Daily.
Oh,
that was fun. Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, let's get a word in from our friends over at MyPillow.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. MyPillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
All right.
Choppers. Get your choppers. The chopper will transform your life, transform your sleep. And Brian, you look like you need a little Rev 7 today.
I do. I need some Rev 7. I need some caffeine. I need all of it. Loaded Gun and Rev 7. Just
mix them together.
Mix them together. That would be horrible.
That does sound pretty gross.
All right, guys.
MyPillow.com, promo code Badlands, everyone.
Yes. All right. So tonight we're bringing back a special guest, and
our number one guest from 2025 is who we're bringing back this evening by popular demand, and also because he has new information to share.
Yeah, I'm reluctant to bring him on because I'm kind of... All right, let's go ahead and bring him on. Guys, welcome to the show, Phil Davis, a.k.a. Mad Liberals. Phil, how you doing? Welcome back.
Doing fantastic, Brian and Ash. What's going on? Thanks for having me back. That was a fantastic intro. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you know that you were our number one guest last year?
I did not. I knew I was there 8 times. Ash told me
8 times.
It's number 9. So we're going to have to make that a regular thing.
Number 1, actually, because we reset the counter.
Now, do y'all give like YouTube plaques? Once you get like 10 visits.
No, we're not that. We're not
We
that
should
fancy.
do that. We
Plus
should
you
have
can-
an award by the end of the 2026. Whoever hits 10 appearances on this show gets a plaque.
I love it. I love that. That sounds fun.
Plus YouTube hates us, so you might get like the little Rumble green thing. We'll do like a Badlands one. There you go.
Shout out to YouTube. Hi guys, we love you and we're happy that you're watching. Please hit the like button over there. Hit the like button wherever you're watching. And if you are watching us over on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, there you go. I am going to throw Phil under the bus here. He did not watch our interview with Stephen Richer.
Oh yeah, under the bus you go.
Under the bus, man. I had Marilyn Marks.
The most important interview of 2026.
I know. I'm so sorry. I had to finish up a report for Detroit, Michigan, and I was up till like 2:00 that night.
Well, the good news is he has agreed to come on again for a follow-up because we kind of hit him with some information that he was not aware of. And so me and Kevin are going to get with him and send him over all the stuff, let him read through it, and then go back through it again because there isn't really anything you can do to justify Fulton County and Georgia in general, but specifically Fulton County. I do want to say right now we've got a little bit of breaking news. The Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections has come out with a price for the state election board to get their ballots. $435,000.
Oh my gosh. For what?
A lot of money, but I think I was expecting it to be more.
Well, the original estimate was 400,000, so they went 35,000 over that. Now, here's the thing, and I think we're going to see a little bit of strategy here from the DOJ and from President Trump here.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is eligible for $6.2 million in legal fees from Fulton County. There was a law passed in Senate Bill 244 in the Georgia legislature that if you're the defendant in a case and it's dismissed based on a motion that you made to disqualify the prosecutor, you are eligible for reasonable attorney fees, legal fees, and other costs. And this is
saying we do a swap? Can we do a swap?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I like it.
Trump says, I'll forgive your $6.2 million. I'm not forgiving the other defendants because I've already talked to Harrison Floyd. He's going through with it. I talked to Kathy Latham. She's going through with it.
That feels excessive, Brian. I would say we will forgive 435,000 of your 6.2 million.
No. For President Trump, give him the whole 6.2 million. Give him the whole 6.2 million.
This is like money saying we should give Minnesota to Canada. What is it with you people and giving away our stuff?
Mm-hmm. It's not our stuff. It's taxpayer money. So that's 6.2 million.
That's ours. That's our stuff.
So you want to give, like, Fulton County residents want to give $6.2 million to Trump? Like, they got to pay.
It doesn't matter what they want to do. It matters what the court ordered them to do because of the liability and obligation. Why are we going to make? Why are we giving what is that? $5.8 million you want to give Fulton County just to force them to comply with an order that they have been obstructing compliance with for like 3, 4, 5 years?
Instead, you want to tell the taxpayers of Fulton County, hey, you have to pay because you have a weaponized political system in the district attorney's office. And now you guys have to pay on behalf of Fannie Willis. You guys have to pay $6.2 million.
Yeah. Take it out of their migrant money.
That's not how it works. It'll come out.
Money is fungible. It's absolutely 100% how it works. And if they wanted to do something crooked with the money, that would be exactly how it worked.
I don't think so, but we'll see. I think there's going to be some negotiating going on there, some deals that are made. So Phil,
yes,
where would you like to begin with tonight? You want to start with the big breaking story?
Let's start with the big one, which is Michigan. I keep telling people I've run out of conspiracy theories. I need new ones because I can't explain what I'm seeing here. Yehuda Miller had a lawsuit against Detroit, Michigan. Mm-hmm. They didn't save any of their ballots. Their cast vote record has 10% of what's supposed to. We do have the poll tapes. but that's all we have. And so he sued. He finally won. They finally scanned in all the ballots. It took a long time to do it. They scanned the ballots, the envelopes, all the documentation they scanned in and sent to him. I got word of that there's ballots. So you know what I do. I ran over, asked him if I could get access to them. Wrote a bunch of software to read the front of the ballots. Typically I read the backs, but now I had to write some stuff to read the fronts. And processed about 380,000 ballots for them. And overall, the machines actually did a pretty good job counting the ballots. When they finally sent us the ballots, there was supposed to be, I'm trying to remember my numbers here. I apologize for being off a little bit, but I think there were, scroll down, 260,000 votes.
Are we showing this right now, Brian, or no? Okay, I see it down below. I didn't know if you meant to be showing it.
260,000 votes. We're missing about 5,000 of those ballots. So when they rescanned all the ballots, we're about 5,000 short.
Wait, so is that that's in addition? So there's 5,000 ballots, excuse me, that were tallied that don't exist.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so when they scanned them, they sent us papers that they were scanning these ballots. Even they on their numbers are around 4,000 ballots short. So they say 4,000. They didn't send us about 1,000 of those. So we're 5,000 short. So we're still trying to get the 1,000 that they promised they scanned. But they are definitely short about 4,000. But as far as the totals, the totals are adding up to what they're supposed to add up to. So it doesn't look like any machine manipulation. Venezuela didn't go in and change any ballots or anything like that yet.
So are you guys, the work that you guys are doing, is that all of Michigan right now, or is that specific to Wayne County?
Specific to Detroit only.
Detroit?
Detroit only. That's all we're able to get. Wayne County is bigger than Detroit, but Detroit's completely contained within Wayne.
And we're talking 2020?
2020, that's right.
And what's the margin in Detroit in 2020?
It was in Detroit, it was a 97% Biden vote. So, so every ballot that's missing, you already know who the ballot was for. But as far as Michigan as a whole, I think it was a 300,000 vote difference. So yes, there are 4,000 missing. So it was big.
Wasn't it 167?
167. I'm dealing with 4 states at the moment, so I may be wrong. But 4,000 out of 160,000. It's bad, but not horrible. Not horrible.
Let me check and make sure. Fact check myself. It's been a while since I've done this. Margin of victory was, it doesn't say the margin. It just says Biden had 2.804 million to Trump's 2.649 million. So about 155,000 votes, it looks like.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, that's right where I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, so there's 5,000 ballots that are not votes that don't have corresponding ballots, and that's just in Detroit?
That's correct. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it could be, 1,000 of it is they forgot to send it to us, but they are definitely 4,000 short on their own numbers.
How do you forget to send, 1,000 ballots? I mean, aren't they all in a central location? You just go through and grab everything?
Well, they did. And when they did this, they had 5 people scanning in ballots for about 4 months. It took a long time for them to do this. And they started and stopped a few times. Remember, they also did the envelopes. They did all the paperwork. And so it was a very massive amount of work. And when they did it, they said, RJ scanned in 200 ballots for this precinct. CS scanned in 58 and so on. And I'm short, but the amount I'm short is on the little tally sheet. So they say they scanned it, RJ scanned it, and then when we go back and ask them, they find it and they send it to us. But so that's just their accounting. So they had to load up, I think, 290 files just of ballots, zip files, PDFs, and all that stuff. So it's just the 1,000 that they get them to us, I'm not, it's not going to be a bad thing. But the 4,000, that's worse.
Is there any correlation with the 4,000 and the absentee voting counting boards?
They're mixed up. The Michigan has a unique system that you can actually treat each precinct completely separately from the rest. It makes it actually easy for analysis. So they have what they call counting boards and precincts.
Right.
When they have 129 counting boards, and when you mail in your ballot, it goes to your appropriate counting board, and each one keeps their own numbers. And then on election day, you go into your precinct, the precinct scans the ballots, and then they send that to the appropriate counting board. And then you get the final totals. So some counting boards were very, very close. 80% were dead on target, but there was definitely some where 300, 400, 500, even 1,000 short of what they should have.
Whoa. Hold on. You said 80% were dead on target?
Yes.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought 70% were out of balance.
No, not really. I have the spreadsheet here. Most of them were 2, 3, 5, 1, 9, 4. I'm just reading numbers here. 4, 2, 6. So plus or minus 4 or 5.
So there was a report that was done a while back by Eric Spakeen, and I think Yehuda was involved in that too, I believe. And Eric Spakeen, a forensics document scientist, that's what he does. And going off the top of my head, when they did this assessment, they weren't allowed to physically touch the ballots. Only the election workers could touch the physical ballots.
Yes.
And even the election worker, according to Spakeen, or according to the report, I don't want to put words in his mouth, even the election worker was pointing out inconsistencies in the ballots and the paper and how they felt and that kind of stuff. Did you guys see any of that when you guys were doing all these scans?
We weren't allowed to touch them either.
Oh, wow.
No, we didn't touch them. I didn't. Well, put the Yehuda nor I were touching the ballots. It was the employees scanning of the ballots.
So they didn't. You guys didn't actually get the physical, because I always thought, he drove over there with the U-Haul truck and a million documents. I thought he was getting the actual physical ballots, which was kind of shocking to me.
Right.
Okay, so walk us through the process that you guys had to go through then, because I don't think I understand that.
Right. And can I share my screen here?
Sure.
Let's see. How do I share screen? Sorry about this. I'm a computer person. You'd think I can do this faster.
Real quick, Phil. By the way, Patty has actually reiterated the canvassing the board thing real quick. Let me find it. Because I read it this morning. Here it is. She had said that an astounding 70% of Detroit's absentee counting boards were out of balance in the 2020 election.
Okay.
And that's what I understood from the election too, because this is where Monica Palmer, who was one of the the Republican representative for the board, her and her other Republican counterpart refused to certify the election because of that imbalance. And then they were given the promise from Benson, Secretary of State Benson, that they would do an audit of this and get to the bottom of it. And so they agreed begrudgingly to sign off on it. And then lo and behold, Benson, kind of reneges on that and says, no, we're not going to do it. And that's how that.
Interesting. This is our findings, or my findings.
Real quick, let me just add one last thing, Phil,
yes.
because this is a travesty. It's Michigan law that if the absentee voting counting boards are out of balance,
yes,
they are not subject to a recount. That's Michigan law. I remember Matt DePerno telling me this back in the day, calling me up and asking me about this, and Patty reiterates it in her article there. So that's just insane to me. Like, something is a problem. They have a law that you can't address it. You can't get to the bottom of it.
That's basically interesting.
All right. So what are we looking at here,
Okay,
Phil?
These are the counting boards. These are going to be your early votes. All right. Here's in column C is a statement of votes. So when you print out the official statement of votes, these are the numbers you're going to see per counting board. The poll tapes, column D, we actually have the poll tapes. And when you review the poll tapes, it lines up with the statement of votes very, very good. The FOIA count is, now this is the ballots that they said that they hand scanned for Yehuda. All right. So it was on a piece of paper, it was a logs, and they wrote, how many ballots did I scan? And you can see from counting board 100 to 115, the variance from what the statement says to number of papers that they scan is quite low in this section of the report. The column H is how many images I got. And so, my variance and their variance should be pretty close. And so when I said that I'm missing like 1,000 of them that they haven't sent, that means that they scanned them in column F. I received them in column H. And most of the time they matched up, but there are a few instances where I'm clearly missing a file that they haven't sent yet. All right.
Okay.
Now, if I scroll up, it starts to alter a little bit. You start to see more variances. In this case here, you're going to see that there was 204 too shorter ballots for precinct number 78. But weird, I got 1,700. So even though their numbers were short, my numbers were right on again. So that's what I'm saying. So when they were scanning it and they were accounting for it, they didn't do a perfect job. Sometimes they were off a little bit.
Was this like a Joe Rossi thing, hand count, where they double scan and triple scan to try and make the numbers match?
I checked all the ballots. I looked for duplicates, and I'll show you some double scan ballots, but that's not what this is.
Okay.
Now, when we get to the top, starts getting off the rails a little bit. You'll see here the variances start to rise quite a bit. So there's 123 ballots off here. This is a negative 12, a positive 22, positive 32. And so for some reason, the beginning counting boards were much more off than the lower numbered counting boards. I don't know why that happened, but their variances were quite off. And so you can see overall.
How are they counting? They're counting by running them back through machines?
They took all the paper ballots in column F. They took all the paper ballots, scanned them on a regular everyday scanner, one of the high bulk scanners, not on a tabulator. And that's how many ballots they said that they scanned. And they put it into a giant PDF, and I had to break the giant PDF up.
But when you say that earlier in the counts, they were, pretty close on, and then later it starts to degrade, and it appears that they're getting worse at it.
Better. They get better. The
we
early number counting boards 1 through 20 were bad, but when they got down to the 100s, it got better.
Weird.
I showed you the data backwards.
Got it. Okay.
And
but it's not humans getting tired.
No. Actually, it's almost like their process is improving.
Okay.
But they're still short. There's 1,400, and we have an extra 193. Interesting. Here that 1,600, but we only got 1,500. We're short 106. And so when you read all the numbers together, we are short total variance, absolute variance, positive and negative, of 4,000 ballots.
What's the CVR report side?
That is weird. I was saving that for last.
Oh, okay. Because that's what my eye went to.
Well, because that's when all the wheels fall off the bicycle.
There's only two wheels on a bike.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And we are really, once again, I need new conspiracy theories to explain this one. Because
we'll do our best to develop them for you. Show us what you got.
Thank you. Let me see if I can find the document. I hadn't opened it up yet, but where is that one? I shouldn't have done this because I don't remember which one I was going to show you, but I will open it up a little bit. It's not that one. Nope. I'll get to that one in a little bit when I have a moment to actually open up the right document for you. But what happened was, and if I could find it, I'll be very happy, but otherwise I'm going to be embarrassing myself. We had a report that came out on the 6th, and it had the poll tapes on it. And the poll tapes matched the statement of vote on the 6th. The next day, on the 7th, We get this other report. I called it the cast vote record report for good reasons, but it reported completely different numbers than the poll tapes did. So the document before was correct as far as their totals. The next day, they have a completely different report that's completely wrong values to it. And it makes little sense of why is it so different. And you have to go almost ask yourself, well, maybe it wasn't the same ballots they're looking at. But once again, as you get lower in the numbers, weirdly, they start matching the official numbers. So that report, that CVR report in column J, does match the statement of votes, yet it is off by 20,000 votes.
I think that's what Spakeen mentioned in his report, because 20,000 sounds about right for the number.
So he was probably looking at this report that I have mistakenly forgot where I put it. It's not there. So sorry. There's only, I don't have too many of these. Eventually I'll find it. Not that one. I'm sorry. Not that one. I got too much stuff I'm working on at once. There it is. Here it is. Okay, I found it. All right. So this is called, and I want you to notice the dates on all this, because the dates are very, very important.
Can you zoom in a little bit more?
I am definitely going to zoom in.
Okay.
All right. This is, do you see this is November the 5th? All right. 2 days after the election. You will see, and once again, we only can look at Detroit, but here's precinct of Detroit, right?
Are those your dots or are those scanned in?
I was going to say that.
Okay.
You're so observant. Those are not my dots. That is someone, matter of fact, there you can see 3 different style of dots that they were going through and monitoring and looking at each of these values and checking them off. You can actually see one person, second person, and then a third person has a little line through them. But what someone was doing, this is my theory, and I think it's a pretty good theory, is that they were taking this report and comparing it to the poll tapes and making sure that this number matched the poll tapes. All right. So here's all the precincts. Let me run down here and let me get to.
Oh yeah, they are all different kinds. Those are different people.
Different people checking it out. You know, you can definitely see it.
So that's probably part of the process they have baked into what they're doing there.
Yeah, they were being very careful. They looked at each of these, and they do match other poll tapes. And so let's go down here, and we get to a second report on the same report here. La 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 la. I mean, matter of fact, let me zoom out. Da, 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 da.
Now again, these are the absentee. These are the precincts, not the absentee counting.
Right. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. So, you know, you'll see the precinct and you'll see the counting boards both in this report.
Now we're on a different day. This is November 6th.
Right. The next day. This is blown. We can't figure this out. We have these words: ballots cast splits. Don't know what that means. Okay, but they have ballot cast already on this. So why do they put the words ballots cast splits? Same red pen that they were using before. Okay. Now we got to go down to Detroit. Here we go, and we can look. These are the counting boards. Okay, and unfortunately, they didn't put a leading 0 on these silly things, so I have to actually go down and look at them like this way. But let's take a look. Counting board 14. All right, and I'll scroll over counting board 14. They have 1,606 ballots, 6 votes for counting board 14. Let's go back to me and look at row 14. And I'll put us in a, what color on that? There we go. So 1,606. I typed that 1606, 1606. Yeah. That is very different than the 1796 that they had.
You mean, oh yeah, okay. On the FOIA ballots. And 1764 in the statement.
That's right. So where did they get this data? Now, the reason I call this the cast vote record report is this right here. It says ballot 44 type 484. You see this text here? When you have a cast vote record, that's what the text looks like. That's how how it's laid out in this line here? Yes. So if I was to go to another county, and let's go to Appling County in Georgia, and open up a cast vote record, okay, and look at this column H, ballot 1, type 1, right? Ballot 5, type 5. And that's what they wrote here, ballot 3, type 3. You see it?
Yeah.
Same exact format. So I'm thinking, we don't know, I'm guessing, but it's an educated guess, that this came from some sort of cast vote record.
And this ballot cast splits, we don't know what they mean, but is this report, what's the official name on it? Not the red text, but the actual report on it. Is this something where how are the values determined for this report? Usually, are they manually put in? Are they pulling the information from somewhere and tracking it in some way, or is it a system download? Do we know?
Right. This is ballots cast per ballot style. Okay, November election official. Now, if they were to do this by hand, they would not have been able to do this in time.
So they're extracting it from cast vote record?
I would have to assume by the ballot and type listed that they're pulling this from the cast vote record.
Okay, and what about where it said on that ballot type 14, it was like 1700 something instead of 1606? Where does that 1764, where does that number come from?
1764. You're going to make me open up more documents, aren't you?
Yes.
I will get there. So Wayne documentation, that comes from the statements of vote cast. I believe this is it right here. The official
results.
Wait, this is Wayne County. That's not right. I need statement of votes count just for Detroit. And I should have opened up better. I'm going to do all this again, aren't I? Yeah, I thought so. Here it is.
Probably.
Yay. Statement of votes count, senator. Nope, that's not it. Darn it. No, it was the first one. I do too much here. I apologize.
Yeah.
City of Detroit. There it goes. Okay, so City of Detroit and the number of ballots cast is right there. Okay, cards cast 108. So let's find County Board 14. Sorry, so let's go to City of Detroit, County Board. You didn't think you were going to be looking at spreadsheets all day, did you?
Yeah, well, I'm good with it. We like it. We want to see the
This
actual
is what I
data.
do all day long.
And I think what you're telling us is that the official results don't match the cast
They
vote.
do and they don't. They do and they don't.
So,
Depends on what you're looking at. City of Westchester, City of Detroit. Here we go. It's at the bottom. Number 14. Here we go. Okay.
1764. But the cast vote record says 1606.
The other report, let me go to here and let's go to, I believe it's that. Nope, not that one. That one. There it is. Jump back down. So we get apples to apples. City of Detroit, ABCB 14, right there. 1606. 1764 and 1764. County Board 15, 1765. My number, 1765. Okay. And back on this document here, 1757. County Board 16, 1967.
And that aligns with the cast vote record on both of those.
Yeah. 2683. Not even close.
172683.
Now, isn't the cast vote record?
Wow.
Doesn't that come directly from the ICC itself?
The cast vote record does not. The cast vote record. Are we done? I think we're done here.
Hang on a second. How many line items are there? How many counting boards? 129, you said?
There is 134. 134.
134 counting boards. And if you have, all of them off by a little.
Mm-hmm. You end up with 19,000 off.
Wow.
And that's just Detroit.
That's just Detroit.
And there's no systemic reason. I don't think I've heard you say a system reason why those numbers would be off, because the cast vote records should be the master source of truth, but the official results are the ones that are reported, the ones that are the result, we're standing by it, that's this many votes, etc. But we don't know where that number is coming from.
Right. So so everything was adding up absolutely fine until I saw this report. And Yehuda, pointing me at this, says, take a look at this. And this is what this was. And these numbers, how did they get a day after the election? So the day before, all the numbers match the poll tapes and everything. The day after, all the numbers are completely off again.
So this same thing has a little bit of a side quest, but the same thing happened here in Colorado. It was for the 2024 election, but the official results in the county did not match. When it was like somehow in the roll up, right? You ended up with a different number. And I was talking to one of the county clerks here in Colorado, and she's the one who brought it to my attention. She said, I don't understand this, because we have our official results. We know what our official results are. They didn't change. They were sent through Clarity Cital, and like but that number is different, and nobody has an explanation as for why. And that's in multiple counties.
Right.
So we don't have to know what the intention, if there even is one, or if it's a system glitch or whatever. We don't have to know all of the story to know, hey, something's weird here, because the results never match. And we have a system master source of truth, but that's not the master source of truth. This manual thing is, and nobody can explain it.
Right. Right.
Phil, do me a solid. I've never done this before, but take everything that we just talked about here. Yes. Pack it into about 2 minutes that I can clip to put out there, because this is good information that needs to be out there.
Okay. Let me drink some coffee first. I need a little bit more caffeine. 2 minutes, huh?
And then after this, you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll play our next sponsor for the show while you kind of put your thoughts together on this, and then from there we'll get into the Patty McMurray piece on the Gateway Pundit and what Yehuda and yourself found over there. So while you're putting your brain together on this, let's go ahead and talk about soft disclosure. Get you some of that beard oil.
Now that I'm alone at the close-up, do you see how awesome my beard looks right now?
I use the beard oil every single day. First thing.
Comes out feeling all silky smooth.
I take the dropper and I manually apply the oil directly
hair
to my mustache.
Nice and, oh man, I love it.
And then I do drops all throughout the hair, and then I just rub it all in. And then I top it off with the tallow stick on the face.
Dude, I feel like I have to grow a beard just to try this beard oil. It sounds
Do it, Jay.
amazing.
It's all from softdisclosure.com, and the best part about it is you will be supporting Badlands Media, Annie from Willow and Farms, and basically 3 of Annie's neighbors. So that's 5 total American companies that you'd be supporting with one purchase.
I have been using the Soft Disclosure scentless beard oil every day after the shower. It looks unkempt, but it feels silky smooth. I want to look a little wild and unapproachable, but for the woman I trust, she'll be like, oh, it's actually kind of soft. He is approachable after all. Otherwise, stay away. And Soft Disclosure will help you too with that, if that's the very specific vibe you're going for.
That is very specific, yes.
You guys are supporting American businesses when you do that. It's absolutely incredible, and you get a great, great product.
Soft disclosure.
So did you find out if that's the chosen music?
I did not. Oh, I know. I totally forgot to even do anything with that, but I will try. On the beard oil, we got a review from somebody that purchased the beard oil, and she was like, I just decided to throw it on my flyaways on my hair, and it was amazing. And so today I was like, you know what? My hair's looking a little crazy. Let me throw a little beard oil on it, and I did, and she was 100% correct. It's got this nice, like, kind of soft sheen. So women, we're co-opting the beard oil. Softdisclosure.com, promo code Badlands.
Love it.
There you go. All right. So on that note, Phil, give us a rundown of what we're looking at here.
Absolutely. Thank you. This is Wayne County 2020, specifically going to look at Detroit City itself, a section of Wayne County. This is a report we received from the canvas, and you notice it's got a date of 11/05, November 5th. This is the Wayne County unofficial numbers. This document, as you can see, was written, a poll worker, you can see marked on here. So they use this as their official count to go through each of the precincts, compare it probably to the poll tapes, is my guess, to make sure that the numbers all match everything that they're looking for. You can see that 5-6 people were going through here and making their marks. So it's something that the whole team was working on. Now, if we go down here to City of Michigan, Detroit, and we look at the counting boards, you notice the counting boards here are zeros. So let's go down a little bit faster. Where is the counting boards? Here it is. The precincts. And, wow, I should have found this. City of Detroit counting boards. Okay. And so you can see someone did basically the same technique. They went through and marked in yellow here on the counting boards these numbers. So City of Detroit, you can see that they have 1,506 ballots. Counting board 2, 2,011 ballots, and so on. And I have put those in the spreadsheet. So you can see, well, it's side by side, 1506, 2011, 1894. I've transformed this and you put it in the statement of votes column here on the spreadsheet. So you can see counting board down the side, statement of votes, and that is their official totals. In column D, I put the poll tapes. We got all the poll tapes, one of the few things we actually were able to receive, and wrote down the totals of the poll tapes. They match the statement of votes very, very carefully. Column H, ballots, is the number of ballot images that we received when they went back and scanned all the ballots in. So thanks to an open records request, the City of Detroit scanned in ballots, sent them to Yehuda Miller, who gave them to me to process. I was able to process them and find all basically close to the number of statements of votes. Now, where it gets crazy is I go back to that document and I'm going to go to a second report on this document. The second report comes the next day. And let's see, where is that little guy? Let me zoom out, be easier for me. And that's called split cast votes. Let's see, almost there. There it is. There it is. Now, this document, the next day, given to us again, someone with the same red pen wrote ballots cast splits. Ballots cast per ballot style. Now, every precinct and every county board has their own style of ballots. So for the county boards, they had 124 styles. For the precincts, they had 503 styles. So each precinct had their own style. So this should be a total of all the ballots that each precinct and county board counted. So let's go look at the same data again. So we're going to find the City of Detroit. We're going to find the counting boards on this report. There's a lot of precincts here. I pass it. City of Detroit. Precinct, looking for county boards. There it goes. So we look at the county boards again. So you can see the county boards, unfortunately, by their way that they ordered this, they didn't put any leading digits. So we'll jump down to where we can see 14, 15, 16, 17 here. So if you look at these numbers, which is a number of ballots that they had, we're going to get, zoom into this. You're going to see that County Board 14 had 1,606 ballots. Now let's go back to the official report, and Precinct 14 had 1,764. That does not come close to the 1,606 that they have on this other report. Why is there such a variance between a report the day before to the day after? So 1 day difference. Now you have column J with the 1,600 number. The next value here, 15, that report has 1,757. There is only 1,765. So at least you can kind of see that what we're looking at is very close to what the official numbers are. So there is some sort of relationship between these two reports and these two numbers. The third one here, 1,967 versus 2,103. What's this discrepancy that we're seeing? And this column K is the total number of ballots that are different. And clearly you can see that there is some relationship to this. It is counting the ballots on this report. But when you add up all the totals, it's a 20,000 vote difference between the report on the 5th and the report on the 6th. And I have no decent explanation for that.
Extra ballots.
Not just extra. This is the absolute difference.
So there's
some positives.
Almost 20,000 ballots that are different.
Yes, that's correct. Some are most of them we have a positive, too many extra ballots. In some cases, you have a negative 239 ballots. Makes no sense. But total amount of the absolute value variance is 20,000.
And just real quick before we wrap this segment up here, just to remind you, you can't recount absentee voting counting boards under Michigan law. And before they certified this, Monica Palmer and the other Republican on the board were promised an audit to look into this by Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, almost as like a bribe for their vote. They agreed, and then Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson backed out on that deal. So
is that before or after her children were threatened?
Oh yeah, they had that one new representative there that threatened Monica Palmer's doxed her kid's school on a live stream. So all right, let's
it's totally something that people involved in public trust and care about integrity do.
Well, that's also where you had C.A. Johnson, make them pay. Yeah. Take to the streets, make those Trump supporters pay. Yeah. All right, so let's get into this new discrepancy that is inexplicable, cannot be explained. Phil, him and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago, maybe, when you started with this, and I was like, holy crap. I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to play this in the background on mute if you want to go ahead and explain what you guys saw with this, Phil.
Well, wait, before you explain it, I have to remind everybody that J. Alex Halderman has said that human behavior related to voting is just so unpredictable that you cannot possibly analyze the human factors statistically to determine what happened in an election. Okay, Phil, go ahead.
Actually, before you play it, let me walk through that ballot that you just showed there. All right. And I have that ballot up. So let me go ahead and share my screen again, because otherwise people I think are just going to get a little bit confused by what they're looking at. Okay. But I think it deserves a little bit of context before we do. And let's go ahead and open up my program here. And that is that first ballot that you were showing, because Haldeman's absolutely right about this. What were they thinking? Okay. And a lot of times you can kind of get a decent guess what they're thinking. So here, the first ballot I want to show you is they voted Republican Party. All right. So straight ticket, he voted Republican. Then he went to prosecuting attorney and there's no Republicans available. So he put a dot, a mark in this little circle that's underneath the candidates. It doesn't say write-in, doesn't have any actual information next to those circles. We took a picture. We have a picture of the actual ballots that unscanned. There's no blue text or anything. It's just blanks. And how they've done this
is the idea that there is a number of, because I know we're going to see ones where there's a bunch, right? That says vote for not more than one, and then there's one extra bubble.
Right. So here, vote for not more than two. You're going to get 2 bubbles. Yeah. If you're going to have vote for no more than 15, you're going to get 15 bubbles. Yeah. And so that's kind of the question, and it's very visible of kind of blowing your mind what's going on here. Is it a natural process for someone in Detroit to fill in a bubble with nothing next to it? And that's a question we have to ask ourselves. Is this a regular occurrence for a person? And then you get a ballot like this, and then you really got to kind of start scratching your head, because let's just look at the ballot. He voted straight working class. He voted Biden, but instead of voting for someone for Board of Education, he checked the bullet underneath here. Okay. He actually just eliminated the two working class people, Mary and Holly, from getting a vote because he voted against them by putting a circle here. Why would he do that? For treasurer, he picked no one. And then commissioner, no one. And down here, you can look at these ballots, and it's this weird pattern of voting for these blank, empty circles.
So one person, one vote in our chats asked, why does the ballot even have an oval there?
Well, if you were in Georgia, it'd say write-in and then have the bubble. It doesn't even have any explanation that this is for write-ins. You know,
but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a no vote.
It is a write-in. It is a write-in.
It is a write-in?
Yeah. Yeah. They'll be counted as write-ins if you wrote that in.
Is this the way that Michiganders, which still sounds stupid to me, but is this the way that Michiganders are trained to vote in their state?
You have to ask that question. Is this,
or is it new?
What they're used to? Is this just how they do it? But even if that is how they do it, why would they vote? And look at this. This is the one that we're going to look at the most because it's the most weirdest. Judges.
And how do you know it's a write-in?
You don't, to be honest.
So it could be a no vote.
It could be a no vote.
But
I would sure put no vote or no selection, or I'd put words there if I was a ballot designer.
Sure.
So this position, you got 15 judges. Okay. You have 15 people for those 15 positions. The vote has no bearing on reality at all. Because
you know what's weird about this, Phil? Before you talk about the vote, look at the title of it.
Yeah.
It says incumbent position in judge of circuit court. That's a singular judge of circuit court, third circuit incumbent position. That sounds like it's one seat.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 15 options. They can select 15 options, and there's 15 blank bubbles.
That's right. That's right.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy ballot, isn't it? So why would someone vote? Not David, but I like Miriam, but not Charlene. But I don't like Don. I don't like Lynn and Shannon. And then I'll do 5 more votes. And if you actually add all this up, there's 15 bubbles here. So someone took the time not only to pick and choose which judges they want, then fill in extra bubbles and then add them all up to make sure they had 15. On the back of the ballot, let's see what on the back they didn't vote. Okay, so the back they didn't vote on that one. Let's go to the next one. All right. So this guy, it's kind of the same thing happened here, right? Straight Democrat Party, but he voted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 more at the end. Okay. So he voted. So that's what he did. He decided that he wanted 2 extra blanks down here. So it's not a no vote. It's not a write-in. He just decided to write 2 extra circles at the bottom. This one here decided that this circle wasn't good enough for him, so he wanted that circle.
So if they have on that, so let's say it's, legit, they can vote for 15 people.
Yeah.
Not more than 15,
right?
But 15. And they vote for 1 judge and 15 blanks.
Right.
Right? What happens?
Yeah.
Because I know in Colorado, if they overvote, an overvote is not counted.
That's an overvote that you described. 1 plus 15, no vote. That's right. But it doesn't matter for this, right? So look at this guy. He voted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times for nothing. And then this is very common. This is weird.
I can see that though. I mean, I'd probably do that. I don't want any of these judges.
Well,
Screw all the judges.
15 of them.
Yeah, but why not do all of them?
It is it's a way to ensure that nobody goes back behind you and marks your ballot.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking the bubble made sense as, is so they can't say if you don't vote on it, because here in Colorado, if I decide I'm not voting for the prosecuting attorney, I don't like either of them, I don't want to do it, I leave it blank, right? But that's a risk to me because whoever's counting the ballots can just fill it in, right? This way, if it has a no vote oval, actually like that, design. The no vote part of it, it should have instructions, as you said.
If it said
but
no
the
vote,
15 is just weird. That 15 third circuit incumbent position race makes no sense to me.
Right.
Is it like, are we ranked choicing that one? Like,
no. And here's a straight Democrat Party ticket. They voted for a Democrat here, and even though there's a Democrat here, he went for the I don't want anyone vote.
No.
Interesting.
That's weird.
And like I said, I have no theories about this, other than I don't know what in the heck's happening. Judges, he picked these two. He could vote no more than 3. He picked 1. See, on the back of the ballot, he picked this one down here. He picked, he had 9, so decided to pick all 9 of the empty votes. And then all the 3 down there. Let's look at the next one. Okay, I see this pattern a lot. This is kind of, I see this too often. But just like you said, he votes for 1, and then he votes for 14. So, but
which is ostensibly how it should go.
But he skips 1. Why did
he skips 1 because he voted for one person.
Yeah, because he voted for the voter.
Then he should vote for the first 14, wouldn't he?
Yeah, why wouldn't he leave the bottom one blank instead of the top one?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do think that is probably the most reasonable explanation, is that but again, like Ash said, voting is very random and very chaotic.
Totally agree with that. But I will also kill that theory in a few minutes.
Okay, but yeah, it's while I could,
because that's Halderman's theory, not mine, and we hate it.
I understand, and I have that theory until I show you something.
Okay.
But I want you to catch on what's happening here. Remember that last one? He skipped 1 that he did.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Skip 1, 2, 3. Then fill out the rest.
That makes sense to me. And if I got this ballot, is probably how I would fill it out. I need to fill in 15 bubbles, right?
That's in the first ones. You wouldn't skip the 3.
Those 3 are the ones that are attached to judge candidates. So I skip those, and the rest down there. I can see this. That's not as weird to me as some of the other ones.
That's the weird. Yeah, Brian, what do you think?
I'm with Ash. No, I'm with Ash. That's what I think.
You would skip 3 bubbles?
Because you've already filled in 3 bubbles.
They voted for 3, and then they're like, instead of starting from the bottom and accidentally filling in 1 too many and being like, oh crap, I only left 2 blank bubbles, you just skip 3 and then fill in all the rest.
Mm-hmm. Then you have exactly how many, because you skipped the ones you already voted.
But again, this is not something that is like consistent. Has this happened before? Is this? It just doesn't make much. Was somebody instructing them like, hey, if you don't want to vote for all 15, fill in the blanks?
Right.
A vote can't be cast.
You have to ask that as a question.
Right.
Is this something that you would expect a real person to do?
Right. Because I don't know if you want to do the big reveal, but there's quite a large number of these types of anomalies.
Yeah. There is 12,000 write-in votes. There's 12,000 of these. Let me pull up my spreadsheet here. All right. Here's my website, and this is the ballot image itself, right? And you can see there is nothing on that. Those are blanks.
It looks like they filled all of them in at the top, though. They voted for all the judges.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the voter. I'm talking about the blanks.
Okay, gotcha.
Matter of fact, this is a fine ballot. There's nothing wrong with this ballot. I'm just showing you that the write-ins are just a box with a blank. Okay. Now, here's where it's like I said, it starts to get weird. Of the ballots, there are 254,000 ballots. 11,000 of them had at least 1 write-in. Okay. Most people didn't actually write in something. It was like 1%. But that's a 4.4% percentage. Now,
4.5, we round up.
4.5. You're right. Now, this is what's weird. Absentee, same ballots, by the way, same ballots exactly, just the title is different between absentee and election day. Okay. There were 771,000 ballots for absentee. 2.9% of the time they did a write-in. But if it was election day, 7.5%. If this was a natural human thing to do, it would be closer of a percentage. But 2.5 times more likely to do it if they came in person.
Weird.
Does that make sense?
Well, the absentee ballots, they're rife. They're ripe for fraud. They want those ballots to be able to manipulate.
You would think it'd be backwards then.
You would think it'd be inverted, but it could be. Innocent explanation. The people going to vote in person are getting greater instruction.
Yeah.
On how to use those bubbles, and so they're using them more.
Mm-hmm. No, like I said, I'm not calling fraud. I'm not calling anything here.
We're just trying to. You said you need new conspiracy theories, so we're trying to.
Yeah, this is just strange. That's all this is to me right now is just strange. And if you do want to go through and download the ballots, we do have them available on a Dropbox. You can download them, take a look, and just get an idea of what you're seeing here, because I'm out of ideas. And this brings this now it's going to get weirder.
Hold on real quick before we move on, Phil. Has anybody like inquired? Was there some training protocol to tell people this? And they say no?
That's correct. There's nothing that was telling people to do this.
If they're not being prompted to do this, there's no way that 12,000 people all did this.
I know.
That's not likely.
Well, especially because people in the chat from Michigan are saying we don't vote this way.
We understand there's one person that keeps screaming that there's no blanks. We understand that there's a line there for write-in. Nobody's writing anything in there is the point. So it's just a blank bubble that's filled in. That's the point we're making here.
This is Georgia.
How the ballots look.
This is Georgia.
There are no bubbles without lines on Michigan ballots.
That's what I was addressing.
Looking at them.
That's what I just addressed. No, there's a line for you to write in a name is what she's saying, or he is saying, but nobody wrote anything in there. Like if those blank bubbles, you can write somebody's name in there, and that's supposed
to there's not a line to write in their names.
No, there is. You just can't see it.
There's a line.
There's a line, but you can't see it because of the quality of the scan.
Here. Yeah. Right.
But no instruction. No write in.
Right. No write-in instructions. Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, if I just make sure everyone can see it well, zoom in on that. Yeah. There is a line.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's in the box.
It's not. There's a
box. What's in the box?
Well, so like that thing you were showing before that showed the write-in line where there was a line and it said write-in.
Yes.
On it. That's what you expect to see.
That's
what
Georgia.
I voted in 3 different states, and that's what I've always expected to see.
Mm-hmm. Some sort of instructions on what do I do? Yeah. What do I do here? Now, so I took Fulton. Now it doesn't have as many contests, right? I agree with that. But I said, how many times did people do write-in ballots in Georgia for Fulton County? Similar demographics, 0.082%. Only 175 ballots had a write-in for absentee. I don't know. 0.08 versus 7.56. I don't know. Now, let's throw another wrench at this. These ballots, I'm going to say, are the exact same person filling in both ballots. The vote pattern is exactly the same between this ballot and that ballot. And it's one
Did you compare the marks?
They are different marks. Okay. They are different marks. Matter of fact, I think this is ABCB. This is ABCB's. Let's open up a ABCB ballot.
And you guys don't have any way to verify, because these are images, whether or not these are computer generated marks or actual hand marks?
Impossible to know that. And I will talk about that in a second too. All right. So this is ballot 174. This is ballot 175. They are definitely different marks. Okay. If you actually look here at that, they're different. Okay.
Yeah.
But the patterns.
But his pattern.
They could be from the database.
Yeah. The pattern's the same. So the weird pattern that you're seeing on this one and this one is intentional. Okay. So let's look at another one of these. Another one come down, and you see this weird.
And when you say the weird pattern, you're not talking about votes per se. You're talking about the weird pattern of how these blank spots are incorporated in as a matter of voter intent.
Right. So you can see here that this pattern here and this pattern here are the same, right? Yeah. He decided to vote 2, skip 1, vote 3, skip 1, vote 1. The number of combinations of these patterns like this is 1 in 1 trillion.
That's okay? 1 billion. That's 1 billion. Come on.
No, that's a billion. Hey, I'm drinking coffee. I'm a little excited. That's a billion.
It's a billion.
That's a billion.
Billion is slightly better. Okay, billion. Slightly better.
Yeah. Sorry, the number of patterns in the entire ballot's over 1 trillion. Anyway,
the chances that Michigan held a clean election, Brian, are 1 in a billion, not 1 in a trillion.
No, that's closer to 1 in a trillion.
That's trillion. But you know, the entire ballot, including all the races of all the combinations, is 1 trillion. I said the wrong number, but you're right. So this is clearly the same person doing this one and this one. But you got to ask, if why was he skipping things? Why was he decided to skip this button and that button? What was the point of that? But thankfully, because they're doing that, I can actually find the doubles. I found a lot of doubles like this. Matter of fact, I was writing this page right before I had to release the report, and I found so many doubles, I just had to finally exclude a bunch. Wow. But, you know, it's the same people doing this.
Do you have any theories?
Well, it only gets worse. When I look at which one is it, all these are the same, just a couple apart. But let's look at this one here. Brenda Lawrence. Okay, here and here. We'll open those up. Okay. Now, nothing special up here by any means, but you had a Brenda Lawrence here, which is the only Brenda Lawrence in the entire thing, and a Brandy Lawrence here. And yet it's 1 ballot apart.
Wow.
And are those the only 2 votes for that person?
Yeah, that's it. But you can see for the first time, you got to write in. Yay! There's an actual write-in.
Members. Maybe it was family members that voted together.
Yeah, but it's the same pattern. It's the same weird pattern that you'll see.
Family members that spelled the person's name differently.
Yeah.
Husband and wife. The husband spells it wrong because we're retarded.
Fair.
Right. And you can see it here as well. You can see the same thing a second time. So let's open this one up. And we open this one up. This is Victoria's. Okay. And once again, a repeating pattern, except for one. It wasn't repeated. But Victoria Harris. And the same type of very different handwriting again.
Oh, it's definitely a woman's handwriting on the right and a man on the left.
Right. Not only is it a man's handwriting on the right, but you see the very...
No, man's on the left. Man's on the left.
Yeah, man on the left. But it's very stiff, meaning elderly. So that's an elderly man's signature, and this isn't. But the bubbles, the actual bubbles, are drawn basically the same. So it's the same bubbles. Same author of the bubbles. How you have the little circles in the middle, but a different person filling it out.
I'm thinking like home health aid. You thinking home health aid?
Yeah, exactly.
Nursing home. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm because of the scratchiness of this, I'm thinking, nursing home. So maybe a nursing home, a nurse filled out the ballots for them and then let them write the names in.
You wouldn't want to do it with the same handwriting, and especially with a crackdown on fraud.
Right.
Right.
And I found several of those. So that's valid. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. Thank you for going out there and making sure the seniors voted. I'm not saying anything negative, but
as long as they're legit.
But yeah, just there's lots of these. There's lots of these.
I don't want fake seniors voting.
Yeah. So that's my Michigan.
So hang on a second. I have a question. So when I asked you if you have any theories, my question is around the patterns you're finding in the blank bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Could that, because I feel like if I asked this question of, say, Sean Smith, he would say, probably we can't know, but yeah, it's definitely a risk. Can that trigger something inside of the machine?
Absolutely. Every one of those ballots goes to manual adjudication. So every one of those ballots will be looked at by a poll worker who's doing the adjudication system. So but
ostensibly, I mean, according to, and again, I don't know the Michigan statutes on this, but if you have those overvote ones, those votes would be thrown out. So no,
there's no overvoting.
Oh yeah,
yeah. On that 15-person race, what if they fill in 30 bubbles? Some of them came
there
close,
are a couple,
right?
and those would be rejected, right? On a vote on a judgment that has no bearing on any actual votes, but these votes, Michigan's Detroit people know mathematics very well because they were adding up to 15 on every one of these ballots. They were very precise when they added a bunch of extra ones to not overvote them.
When you vote Democrat straight ticket or Republican straight ticket, if you go back and fill in, like in another race, the Republican, say you voted Democrat straight ticket, but you go back and on one race you fill in Republican, does that count as an overvote or does it count as a Republican vote?
Counts as a Republican vote. Democrats would not get that contest.
Okay. And I remember there was a lot of controversy around them getting that straight ticket feature in Michigan, and I think there was another state that had a lot of controversy. They had to give up quite a bit in order to get that. I can't remember the details of that story, but yeah, interesting there.
I will say though, on the straight ticket, whenever I saw a straight ticket, they also voted. Rarely did I see just a straight ticket and nothing else. So and matter of fact, the sheriff, a Democrat sheriff that was running, the ghost votes, what we're calling them, he lost 1,500 votes because they put in the circle underneath the sheriff. So he lost 1,500.
Wow.
You don't see this on the president or the representative. You don't see it in the first two columns. Everything that you saw was in the second two columns, starting at the sheriff position.
Man, no, I was just gonna say these are all in-person votes that we were just looking at, in-person ballots.
Those ones you were just looking at were in-person votes.
Okay, go ahead, Ash.
So when I say, can that trigger something inside of the machine? I'm not saying that's going to send the ballot to adjudication. What I'm thinking is like a malware kind of situation that you have in the software, right? The back end software. A certain kind of pattern that comes through in sequence will trigger the machine to do something else.
Right. If you have A, B, up, down, left, right. Yes.
Yeah.
The patterns don't show up enough.
Okay.
And when we did scan the totals, many of the precincts totals added up absolutely perfectly. So the vote totals came out pretty okay for most of the precincts. So it wasn't something of that nature.
Amlex, I think maybe says, do you have an autopsy of the Georgia gubernatorial votes? We spent 8 shows talking about Georgia with Phil last year.
The Georgia, no, not yet. I've got to go back to that one. Garland Favorito has actually gotten images to be rescanned from Georgia, so they're doing that right now.
But Georgia, just as fake as Michigan, if not more.
Well, Georgia. Yeah. Okay. I have actual real fraud in Georgia. I have proven. Haven't proven any fraud yet in Michigan. So Georgia wins that battle so far.
Is this in addition to our 8-part series?
That is part of the 8-part series. Yes.
Okay. It's part of
absolute fraud. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's the only actual provable fraud I've ever seen, to be honest. Everything else that, all the theories, all the media, I haven't seen it yet. Including Venezuela.
Definitely no Venezuela. Rossi's
Badlands
report.
Book Club, shameless plug, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. Brian and I are talking about Venezuela. We're going through Ralph Pizzula's Stolen Elections book with Colonel Towner. And if you're interested in the Venezuelan election story making the rounds right now, you should tune in on Tuesdays at 6 here on Badlands for Stolen Elections with the two of us and Colonel Towner.
I have read the book.
What'd you think?
It's a book.
It is a book.
It is a book.
It has pages and everything.
It's got pages and everything, but
Yep.
no details I wanted to hear about.
Nothing.
I actually got some information from the people, whistleblowers from Venezuela, and they say, "Oh, this is how we did. This is how we did it." And I'm like, "That's my presentation I did 3 years ago."
Yeah, exactly.
That's not showing me anything new. That's just what I said 3 years ago. The hashes are here, the encryption's here. To change the election, you decrypt it, you change the votes, you hash it and re-encrypt it with the public keys. How are you giving me more information that if you did hack this, then give me some evidence that you did? And they said, well, Coffee County, Georgia. No, I have Coffee County and we rescan Coffee County and they match up just fine. So give me some more information because I'm not getting
my biggest issue with that book so far is that it relies on everybody in America with cybersecurity experiencing being complete retards. For the first 20 years of this century. And no, I don't believe that. And from what I understand, talking to people who were in, DOD cyber defense capacity in the first part of this century, we were leading. America was leading in cybersecurity through the time that this story is taking place and telling us that Americans just couldn't fathom the level of manipulation and fraud what did they call it? The source code malware, the source code is like a poison pill that's put into our elections, and that American cyber experts couldn't imagine that. I used to work with American cyber experts around the same time that they're talking. Those guys can imagine. They used to hack my phone all the time just to show me that they could, to show me that I was terrible at situational awareness and all that kind of stuff. Like they could, we were leading the world at that period of time. And there's little things like that in this book, little lies, like Colonel Towner pointed out, they have a detail about one of the commanders wrong. And she knows because she was working for the guy somewhere else at the time. Little tiny details are adding up in this that do not make sense.
Yeah. And in Vegas, I hacked a voting machine live in front of a bunch of people, changed the votes, changed who you voted for. And it was just a simple SQL database change. Simplest thing you could do. And yet you voted for the wrong person. Your ballot said the person you thought, the person on the ballot, the paper said who you thought, but the vote itself went to someone completely different.
It's way more complicated than that, Phil. It's definitely the Venezuelans, and
that's clearly the Venezuelans.
They're manipulating elections throughout the world, and they're doing it in such a terrible way that their country is still like the low man on the totem pole. They haven't put a favorable regime into them anywhere.
They're rigging all of the elections, and they still keep losing in every major geopolitical dispute.
Pick the other guys next time.
Yeah.
It's like you're building a football team, and you could put whoever you want on your football team, and you pick all of the guys that play soccer. It's just so stupid.
It's real dumb.
Phil, you testified in front of.
Hang on a second before you move off for this time. It's real dumb, but it's real dumb. I think the reason is very nefarious. It is to point the finger somewhere other than the Americans who are complicit and who have kept this system in place despite since 2010 at least knowing that this system was built for fraud out of Venezuela. They've known that since 2010. John Bonifaz wrote a thing on NIST about it in 2010. And so this isn't new. The story right now is intended to take the heat off of the CIA and the U.S. officials and bureaucrats and companies and local officials that are a part of it. It's intended to say, oh, it's Venezuela. Guys, we fixed Venezuela now. So, elections are fine. No, eat a dick. It's not. We're prosecute the Americans that have obstructed, that have continued to run this system and who have demonized and come after all of us asking very valid questions about it for 5 years.
The system is if you know anything about cybersecurity, you would never use a Dominion voting system. The passwords are, for people who don't know, the passwords are in free text on the database server. They're on free text in a database table. It just says, here's your password in the database table, SQLite, on every voting machine. And if you have a tabulator ID card, a technician ID card that you can buy on the internet, it works on every single voting machine. So all you have to do is take one little card, you put it up there, you type in your PIN number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get to the command prompt, you can change the database and get the encryption keys. Every poll worker has a card with the encryption keys on them in plain text. It is the worst kept secret in America of what is the encryption keys are of your voting system. The VPN certificate is in the database, just sitting there with a public-private key that you use for a VPN connection, with no password on it. So all you have to do is download it, install it, and you can VPN into a machine if you wanted to. The password is DVS Corp 08, exclamation point.
Don't forget that.
The Jenna, what's her name? What's her name? Not Jenna Jameson.
Griswold.
Yeah.
The exclamation point makes it secure. You can't forget that part.
Well, she released a database of the passwords for every machine in the world.
They're on the website.
No, for the world. Yes. Yep. If you sort the passwords and look at the very bottom 3 passwords, it'll say Colorado BIOS 2018 triple exclamation point. Now, if you're in Arizona, guess what the password is?
You just have to change the name of the state.
You change the name of the state, and you have the passwords for every state that uses the Dominion system. Their BIOS passwords,
and
the EMS admin.
In history, guys, it uses less password security than your Gmail, than your kids. The app that you go in to buy merch for your kids' high school sports team has greater security than Jenna Griswold's elections, than all of our elections.
Yeah. She released the triple exclamation point password. And all you have to do is replace the state.
It's like triple the security.
The state, it's the year of installation and triple exclamation point. And she released our BIOS, but there's 3 of them at the very bottom that she released. That is worldwide.
During 2 open election events in the state of Colorado, there were primaries happening everywhere. So not just the state of Colorado, but during the 2024 primary in Colorado and the 2024 early voting in the general election, those passwords were up on the website. Yeah. And then they tried to tell us, well, there wasn't a breach, so we weren't going to tell the clerks. The clerks have the equipment, the equipment that all those passwords go to. Yep. Those pieces of equipment, the clerks have them. The only way, in my understanding, to understand if there had been a breach would be to go to decentralize and go local and inspect if there had in fact been a breach on any of those machines that had their passwords breached or released on the website. But they didn't do that. They didn't tell anybody until they got caught. And then they tried to tell everybody that there was no breach until Chris Beal, former Deputy Secretary of State, was caught on the phone to Adams County, big Democrat county. It's a Denver, right? Adams County, city and county of Denver. And then there's Adams County, which is also Denver. Talking to that clerk, say, well, we weren't going to tell you guys because it was going to cause a media storm. So they don't actually give a shit about the security of our elections. They care about keeping their op in place where they get to pretend like elections are safe and secure.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Naturally, Nikki says, isn't Jenna Jameson a porn star? Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Freudian
slip. It is an insult to her to compare her to Jenna Griswold.
You know, it's on my mind instead of her.
All right, guys. If you have not,
both of them, I think, have crazy eyes, though, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Jenna Jameson does not have crazy eyes.
Never looked at her eyes.
Well played.
Well done, sir. Touche. Some rumble rants here. Huck Fillery says this is just a huck buck because the show deserves it. It has nothing to do with my pledge, which I've overpaid by 1 huck buck from Monday's early drop. My name must be cleared. Thanks, y'all. Okay, your name's cleared. I clear you. I hereby clear you. Am I Alks says, thanks for the call out.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
doing
for
that.
setting up Phil to talk about Georgia. We appreciate it.
We didn't
Huck
talk about
Filler, not much, a little bit at the end. Huck Filler says, CannCon says I owe him. Internet is forever, and I ain't no pledge breaker. So receipts. This week's Badlands Daily, 100% timestamps. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, none. Called me out live. Friday, 104. I'm pretty sure 2 of those call outs were me making fun of the pledge. I believe. I could be wrong.
No counts.
But I think that 2 of
I
those
got your back. I got your back, Huck.
and it still can count. I am okay with that. One of the days you were not there, and I did not get my Huck Buck, and I was very disappointed in that. I'm like Pavlov's
Is it shows
dog.
where you don't say 100% he owes you $1, or shows where you do?
No, it shows where I do.
So he doesn't owe you very many dollars because you say it all the time, right?
If I don't say it, and I don't say it, I am not the big 100% person on this. John is far worse than me. I think there's a couple other people that are worse than me. So
I could start calling you 100% CannCon.
That's me, 100% cannabis, all day, every day. All right, Phil. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Are you still working on something next? You gonna have some more? I'm kind of fiending over here, bro.
NDA. I'm under an NDA on this next one. It's a big one. It's one of the biggest. NDA.
Well, that's exciting.
I can cry.
I know, but
We're still mad at you for not telling us about it, but it's exciting.
2 years. I know. I didn't want to sign it, but they wouldn't give me the ballots without it.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep up the hard work, Phil. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Maybe we'll get you back on here when we get the Fulton County physical ballots. Maybe perhaps.
Yeah. Fulton County's coming back very soon.
Yeah.
Well, you have to come back because for 2026, right now you are tied for top guest with Stephen Richard.
One each. Yeah.
There's only been 2 guests. Don't get too carried away there.
I'm first place.
Was that really unclear? Did it need an explanation?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Jeez.
there may be a liberal or 2 listening.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Huck Fillery, 2 best quotes of the week. Eat every last dick, Ash. And regarding Jenna Jameson, I never looked at her eyes.
Phil. That was pretty good. Solid. Thank you, Huck. Appreciate you. Thanks, everyone. Hit the like.
Thanks,
Ash actually switched the room here. It's supposed to be the Badlands Daily room. So I don't have the outro video saved in this one. So it's a hard exit.
Just switch it to Badlands Daily real quick and play the outro.
Sing the song.
It does work like that. Look,
yeah, it totally works like that.
Oh, well, then stop switching it around. You're screwing up.
I didn't set this room up at all. You did. I didn't touch it at all. You're blaming me for stuff you did.
I'm not. You set this room up.
I did
Somebody set this room up.
I did not. I just came in here into the thing and it was set up. I didn't touch a thing in here.
Maybe Jessica did. All right, stay tuned. Spellbreakers.
Thanks, Jessica.
She set up daily or sit rep last night for us. And
thanks, Jessica. And pay no attention to Brian talking smack about how you set up the room because we're super grateful that you did.
100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.